All right, I want to take a look right now at something that came out of the congressional hearing on UFOs, and they were talking about this type of UFO that I've never heard of before that is a black cube or a dark gray cube encased in a clear sphere. And there have been apparently hundreds of encounters with these things off of both coasts, and they do tend to show up basically in fleets or in formations. And from what I can tell, they're roughly 15 feet across, and the of the cube. So you've got this black cube, and the corners of the cube touch the sphere that goes around it. So it's a clear sphere surrounding a cube, and apparently these things can also do all the maneuvers like the Tic Tac UFOs. So I just want to take a look at these things, and really what I'm trying to look at is what it is that is controlling these things. All right. So hold on, I got to make sure. Are they all upside down? No. Okay. All right. So our root card here is a Nine of Wands reversed, and the main card is the reversed Ace of Wands. Now, this has been a kind of a theme in some of the alien readings, and there has been a lot of talk about this. But this being like some reproductive stuff. So the reversed Ace of Wands, what's that is showing me is kind of the absence of birth energy. And down here in this reverse Nine of Wands, um, this is showing basically kind of being hopelessly trapped in some sort of maze. Now, I'll put stuff on either side of this Ace of Wands to see if we can make more sense out of it. So two of them wanted to come out here. And on the other side, we get the Hierophant. All right. Now, the Seven of Pentacles, the witch practicing witchcraft. This is learning by doing. And here with this three, this is another pregnancy reference, actually, as she's growing these wands out of her umbilical cord. Now, my guess, just as I look at these three cards, that if there are aliens that are doing genetic tests and whatever, I think this is probably that group. Just as I see the blood that's being drawn from the tree, to me, that kind of talks about like DNA shit, right? Pregnancy reference here. So this is like trying to make this procreation work. And here it's just showing how that has kind of been closed off and maybe it's not working. Now, this is a little less clear as this energy moves forward, we move into the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the traditional system. This would show religion and all of that stuff. Right away, this might talk about. Oh, geez, I'm not the best on all of this Bible stuff, but there are the group. Is it the Anunnaki that in the Bible they were supposed to have um, combined with humans or genetically modified humans and used humans as a way to reproduce. But that might be what we're talking about here. I'm going to pull another card on this to see if this is like some sort of Bible reference or what the Hierophant is talking about. And we get the star. So, um, at the very least, this would be some sort of traditional spiritual thing. Um, What else are we getting out of this? I mean, it's kind of funny, but I'm looking at the fingers here, and the fingers are kind of doing this thing, which is, at least in the heavy metal world, that is the symbol of the devil. But I think the star, when I'm asking about whether or not this is like biblical shit, I think the star would be a yes. So, all right, hold on. Now we're the things that control these craft. Where did those things come from? And we get the Six of Wands. That's interesting because that's something that comes out of a cocoon. I'm just going to pull a yes or no here. Like, did these things come from Earth? And this is a yes or no question. And I guess that is going to be a yes. So this is interesting because it shows that they developed on Earth, that they went through some sort of metamorphosis here and have sort of come out this way. All right. And I mean, this is potentially another sort of biblical type reference because this is an angel of judgment in the judgment card. But just as far as a yes or no, I'm taking the judgment card to mean a yes. So that is fascinating. That these craft, now keep in mind, I'm not necessarily talking about the beings that control the craft, but these craft look like they have developed here on Earth. Now, all right, this will also be a yes or no. Are these things controlled by what have been called the Anunnaki? Well, a Four of Swords is not exactly a yes, but it does show something that is probably underground, something that has maybe been down there for a while. Have these things that control these craft been here longer than humans? And this will also be a yes or no. And the Justice card is showing fucking balance. So I guess these things have been here as long as we have. That is interesting. Maybe they developed alongside of us. Let's see if that's the case. Did they? Well, okay. Did they initially come from another planet? And a reverse Four of Cups, to me, would say probably not, right? So that's interesting. Looking at all of this, this looks like some sort of thing that developed here on Earth, some sort of thing that has been underground. And it looks like that is what has created these craft. And we also have a bunch of references in here to the pregnancy there have been stories about alien abductions and all of these genetic experiments for forever. I mean, for years at least. And that seems to be the type of thing that this is showing. Now, hold on. I'm going to collect these. Now what I want to look at is the threat level. The threat level of these things to not humanity in general, but the threat level of these things to the United States military or any other world military, because I'm sure to the aliens or whatever these things are, there's probably no difference between what country's flag is pasted on the side of the fucking fighter jet with the missiles, right? But let's just see what sort of threat, if any, they pose to the militaries. All right. Well, our root card here is an Ace of Cups. Um, this is not an attack card or anything. The Ace of Cups is about emotional satisfaction, and so is the King of Cups. So with both of these cards, I think in order for them to become an actual threat to a military, the military would probably have to attack them. Um, so as we're looking at the level of threat, then we have this Two of Wands, which shows creative solutions to old problems and kind of a blending of two different types of thing. I wonder if this is one of the things that they're trying to reverse engineer, because that would kind of explain like a blending of kind of two different sort of technologies. Now, eventually, what we have here also is a Three of Swords. So if there is any peace or naturally a peace in between these things and the militaries, that peace will probably end, and, any sort of trust would be betrayed. Now, can these, keep in mind I'm specifically looking at the black cubes with the sphere around them, can these things attack? Or is that not what they're for? Like, can they attack? All right. A bunch of little ones around a big one. So I think that the answer to this is probably a yes. So they probably could attack, but they would attack with a much bigger ship. Or they would shoot off a bunch of little things that would attack. But here there's a whole bunch of these little things around the big one. So maybe it's the mothership that attacks. Let's see. Do these things return to something like a mothership? Do they return to a bigger craft? And a Two of Swords reversed is saying no. And we also get a Six of Pentacles. I think this is like a drop-off, they might be more like couriers. And I would guess that these things are sent away by whatever the entities are that the tarot shows as being underground, trapped underground, or whatever. These things would be more like couriers. So they would go up to fucking do whatever they were going to do, gain genetic information or something. Here's a question that I'm going to ask. Do these things go to the moon? And this goes into the alien base on the moon theory. But do they go to the moon? We get the Seven of Pentacles, which would say at the very least they're trying, But this is more about the blood and probably this sort of genetic work that they're doing. But I guess considering the context of all of this, the Seven would say if they needed to, but I think it would be more about harvesting the genetic information or whatever it is that they're looking for. So if they were needed, like if the genetic information they needed was on the moon, then yes, they would go to the moon. Um, right. So are they remote controlled? Are there living organisms in these things? And a reverse tower would be a, a, a no. I guess I asked two completely different questions there, didn't I? Um, are they remote controlled and are there living things in them? Those are two completely opposite questions. So hold on. I'm going to bring that back in. Are there living beings in these craft? And the King of Cups would say yes. Yes. I'm trying to remember the question that the King of Cups came up to earlier. Oh, are they war or could they be like threats to our military? And we had a King of Cups. Um, so to this, it looks like there are actually some sort of being inside of them. And even when I first heard the description, it brought to my mind immediately some sort of a astral projection, right? I mean, I could see how if someone were trying to astral project, that they might at least picture a cube around them, and then the sphere of their influence would be the sphere around that. But it's probably not a bad idea if someone is trying to astral project to basically use that shape to do it. Obviously, it's a fucking stable shape since these fucking UFOs are all over the place, right? But yeah, all right. Now, let's see how are these things controlled by the same beings that control the Tic Tacs? Oh. And the Seven of Swords would show a no. I'm thinking on that. And I guess the Tic Tacs are probably going to have to be a separate reading just so we don't go to a fucking half an hour video here. But, all right. What else is there to know about these things that I haven't asked? The Nine of Pentacles. Upward mobility is one of the main meanings of this card. But what am I looking at here? I mean, fuck, I don't even know. What is sticking out is actually all of the flying pentacles around the person. And we do have this little winged skull thing there. I'm going to pull one more card on this because I honestly am not entirely sure what I'm looking at. No, it's this one. Oh, there that is again. All right. Queen of Pentacles. This is the loving, devoted mother. Then we've got this Nine of Pentacles, which basically shows a sign of prosperity. And then the Seven of Swords, which is a lot of pressure to do something that maybe they're not ready to do. Okay, hold on. Now that I'm looking at this, maybe these things were just recently developed. How long have these craft been fucking flying around on Earth? And we get a reversed Chariot, which, oh, that's funny. The root card is here. I think these things are fairly new, and I think they are like being developed. this would be a success. Like whatever creatures it is that are building these, um, I think they're new, and this is like, holy shit, we finally got these things, so now we can fucking fly around and, I don't know, give the finger to all of the pilots or whatever. But this is the Seven of Pentacles' third appearance in this reading. So I guess if we boil everything down to one card, when we're talking about these cubes, it's this: witch practicing witchcraft, drawing blood from a tree. And there have been a lot of pentacles in this reading. And the pentacle itself is a 5-pointed star within a circle. And these things are black cubes within a circle. So maybe it just keeps trying to show me that. And there is also like this serpent tail, because the little witch in this card is like part serpent. So possibly these things are the Anunnaki. It looks like they've been around an equal amount of time as humans, but we also don't know how fucking long humans have been on Earth, right? So it looks like they've been around a while, and I think these specific craft are a relatively new development. But that is what we get for now. I would love to hear any other thoughts or anything on this, and any information that anyone has on these. I would love to hear it, because I'm super fascinated by a whole new type of UFO that I've never heard of. But that's what we have for now, and peace.